It's hard to complain, Bobby. I tried the other day for a couple minutes to think of something to complain about, and I couldn't come up with anything.
Some careers are carved through charm, others through force. Bruce Willis built his through something rarer, an unblinking steadiness that made every scene feel like a line drawn in stone. Yet behind that composure lived a man navigating egos, pressure, and the brutal math of stardom. On sets where trust mattered and rhythm ruled, not every partnership survived.
And actually, had I had them show me the stunt before I did it, I probably wouldn't have done it. I would have been too scared. But I did the stunt, and when I saw it on film, it's just spectacular.
Hollywood remembers the hits, but it also remembers the fractures. So today we explore the 6 actors most often tied to Bruce Willis in stories of conflict, tension, or unresolved friction. Number 1. Kevin Smith. Their time together on Cop Out became an unexpected collision of creative worlds. Kevin Smith approached the project with improvisational looseness, while Bruce Willis favored structure and efficiency. As filming progressed, their differing rhythms clashed, reshaping what had begun as a hopeful collaboration. The tension that emerged became one of the production's lasting stories. In the early weeks, Smith encouraged broad experimentation, hoping spontaneous moments would add personality to the film. Willis preferred clarity and clean execution, arriving with choices already shaped. This contrast did not erupt into overt conflict, but it created a steady friction that influenced the mood and pace of the shoot. Dialogue scenes made the divide especially clear. Smith believed looseness allowed characters to feel real, urging performers to try alternate deliveries or emotional angles. Willis leaned toward precision, treating each line as intentionally constructed. Smith later remarked that Willis had a rhythm already formed before cameras rolled, leaving limited space for improvisation. For Smith, that restricted creativity. For Willis, it reinforced professionalism. As the production continued, action sequences amplified the disconnect. Willis moved with practiced timing, hitting marks with veteran certainty. Smith, accustomed to looser comedic pacing, sometimes struggled to match that level of precision. Their conversations narrowed, and the set settled into a quiet tug-of-war between structure and exploration. Even so, both men believed they were protecting the film in their own ways. Smith valued spontaneity as a source of freshness. Willis valued control as a safeguard against chaos. During a later reflection, Smith summarized the experience by saying, "Willis thrived with a director who could match his internal meter, someone aligned with his calm, deliberate pacing." In the end, Cop Out demonstrated how differing artistic instincts, when not aligned, can shape the entire creative landscape of a production. Number 2. Sybil Shepherd. During Moonlighting, Bruce Willis and Sybil Shepherd created one of television's most electric partnerships. But behind that spark lived a constant tug-of-war fueled by long hours, rising stardom, and contrasting working styles. Their on-screen chemistry thrived, while their off-screen relationship grew increasingly strained, shaping the show's rhythm as much as its writing ever did. As the show's success intensified, so did the pressure surrounding its leads. Willis was adjusting to sudden fame, while Shepherd's confidence and precision shaped her approach to every scene. Their energies clashed early, setting the stage for a dynamic that both energized and disrupted the production. Shepherd once described their working relationship as a clash of equals fighting for space, a line that captured the admiration and friction intertwined in their chemistry. The tension often surfaced during lengthy dialogue sessions that required pinpoint timing. Willis approached these scenes with instinctive spontaneity, while Shepherd relied on meticulous preparation. Their opposing rhythms forced directors to recalibrate takes repeatedly. Crew members later noted that these differences, while difficult, shaped some of the series' most iconic moments. Willis later reflected on this dynamic, saying, "Shepherd had a fire that challenged me in unexpected ways," a statement that acknowledged the creative spark they uniquely shared. Producers frequently observed that the authenticity audiences felt came from this very friction. Two talented performers pushing each other through fatigue, pride, and competing instincts. Their partnership was never simple, but it was undeniably powerful. It gave Moonlighting its pulse, defined its identity, and created a duo whose cultural impact outlasted the series itself. Their chemistry proved that brilliance sometimes emerges not from harmony, but from the collision of strong and conflicting impulses. Number 3. Damon Wayans. On The Last Boy Scout, two strong personalities converged under a demanding shoot. Damon Wayans brought sharp comedic instinct, while Bruce Willis leaned into hardened intensity. The result was a partnership both compelling and difficult, adding real-world tension to a film already built on conflict, distrust, and grit. From the start, their contrasting styles shaped the tone on set. Wayans searched for comedic rhythm, using small improvisations to lighten the script's darker edges. Willis favored controlled seriousness, grounding his character's cynicism through stillness. Their opposing instincts created a creative tightrope the entire production had to navigate. Wayans once hinted that the environment was intense in ways beyond the script, suggesting the emotional climate occasionally spilled into the work. Scenes that demanded shifts between humor and danger required delicate coordination, and their differing approaches sometimes pulled those scenes in opposite directions. The action sequences posed their own challenges. Willis moved with meticulous timing, locking into choreography with military focus. Wayans introduced unpredictable variations, aiming to keep the energy alive even within strict stunt framing. Crew members recalled adjustments being made repeatedly, as both actors fought for the tone they believed the story needed. Still, their differences produced a sharp edge the film benefited from. Willis later said, "Wayans carried a spark you always feel when the camera rolls," acknowledging the unpredictable force behind their dynamic. Their tension translated into a believable on-screen partnership, uneasy, jagged, and ultimately compelling. In the end, their collaboration proved that sometimes the friction between performers strengthens the narrative. Their clashing instincts shaped a story about two men forced to trust each other, creating a chemistry that felt as raw as the world their characters inhabited. Number 4. Sylvester Stallone. Bruce Willis and Sylvester Stallone shared a long-standing mutual respect rooted in their dominance of action cinema. Yet business constrained even the strongest bonds. Their disagreement during negotiations for the third Expendables film exposed the fragile balance between friendship and professional expectation, creating a rare public rift between two titans who had defined an era. Their camaraderie dated back years, strengthened by a shared understanding of the genre's demands. Both were icons who had carved their legacies through grit, charisma, and relentless work. But when Stallone pushed forward with The Expendables 3, the negotiation table became the stage for a disagreement neither could easily sidestep. Stallone later alluded to the tension indirectly, describing the situation as one where different priorities suddenly collided, pointing to the gap between personal loyalty and business expectations. That divide widened as production approached, with Stallone needing quick decisions and Willis holding firm to his own valuation of the role. Industry observers noted that the pressure surrounding the franchise only magnified their differences. Willis, known for calm, disciplined decision-making, approached negotiations with measured precision. Stallone, driven by momentum and vision, sought flexibility. Their contrasting stances created an impasse. Still, Stallone acknowledged Willis's long-held professionalism, saying he respected the years we fought the same cinematic battles, a nod to their intertwined histories. As the film moved forward without Willis, the public took note of the rare crack in their relationship. Yet even in disagreement, their legacy as genre-shaping forces endured. The moment served as a reminder that even the strongest alliances can be tested, not by rivalry, but by the business machinery behind Hollywood's biggest franchises. Their story reflected the complexity of professional respect under pressure. Number 5. Michael Rooker. While working on Hostage, Willis and Michael Rooker approached scenes with markedly different philosophies. Rooker favored immersive emotional grounding, while Willis relied on direct, controlled execution. Their contrasting energies did not erupt into open conflict, but produced a subtle friction that shaped the atmosphere on set and influenced the intensity of their shared moments on screen. Rooker entered each scene by sinking deeply into emotional nuance, building motivations and internal tensions that shaped his performance beat by beat. Willis countered with an efficient, minimalist approach, trusting clarity and instinct to drive the moment. The contrast between immersion and precision created a quiet, noticeable divide during critical exchanges. Rooker later described his technique as living inside the character until the camera stops, revealing how fully he committed to emotional truth. Willis operated differently, focusing on structure, timing, and the emotional restraint his role required. Their opposing styles occasionally pulled scenes in two directions, prompting adjustments from the director to preserve narrative rhythm. During one particularly intense sequence, crew members noted how the differing energies heightened the tension between characters. Willis's controlled stillness met Rooker's simmering unpredictability, creating a dynamic that felt sharper and more volatile on screen. Willis later remarked that Rooker brought a raw immediacy that kept me locked in, a recognition of the power behind his co-star's method. Though their approaches diverged, the resulting performances deepened the film's emotional stakes. Their subtle creative friction added texture rather than disruption, shaping scenes with a mix of discipline and volatility. Together, they built moments that were not comfortable, but compelling, reflecting the uneasy world their characters inhabited. Number 6. Bruce Dern. On Last Man Standing, Bruce Willis and Bruce Dern brought distinct methods to a film steeped in grit and moral ambiguity. Dern's method-driven depth sometimes collided with Willis's streamlined precision, creating pockets of tension during difficult scenes. Their differing styles gave their interactions a lived-in sharpness that both challenged and enriched the film's harsh landscape. From the earliest rehearsals, it was clear both men approached character from opposite ends of the spectrum. Dern immersed himself in psychological detail, dissecting motives and emotional stakes with granular focus. Willis, meanwhile, preferred concise preparation, trusting economy and instinct to drive the moment. Their divergent paths did not create open conflict, but the contrast subtly shaped the environment around them. Dern once described his approach as digging until the character starts talking back, revealing how deeply he probed into internal motivations. Willis worked differently, emphasizing stillness and controlled physicality to let the camera capture what remained unspoken. When scenes demanded confrontation, these opposing styles produced an unpredictable tension that elevated the material. Crew members often noted that their scenes took on an edge neither performer seemed to manufacture deliberately. Dern's restless emotional probing met Willis's measured restraint, creating a rhythm that forced both actors to recalibrate take after take. Willis later acknowledged this dynamic, saying Dern brought an intensity that pulls you forward whether you are ready or not, a comment that highlighted the magnetic pressure Dern's method could exert. Though their techniques occasionally sparked creative friction, the resulting performances deepened the film's oppressive mood. Their interplay added weight to a story driven by shifting loyalties and moral decay. What emerged was not harmony, but a volatile balance, one that gave Last Man Standing the raw, weathered texture that defined its world. In the end, the stories behind these collaborations reveal something deeper than disagreements or creative tension. They show how even the strongest performers carry their own rhythms, instincts, and vulnerabilities onto a set. When those energies collide, the results can be volatile, but they can also produce the sharpest, most memorable work. Each partnership reflected a different facet of Bruce Willis's journey: his discipline, his restraint, his resilience, and the quiet intensity that defined his screen presence. These moments remind us that behind every iconic performance lies a complicated human exchange, shaped by trust, friction, and the pursuit of something meaningful. And that pursuit is what keeps cinema alive. Share your thoughts below, and if you want more stories told with this kind of depth and detail, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.